The why. This is perhaps my favorite question, right? And I understand that we have different perspectives. It's all about perspectives. It's all about perspectives and perception. That will ultimately determine your 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 journey to an end self-mastery and a practice of it. Your perception and your perspective, because how you perceive a thing is how you attract the thing. Understand, how you perceive it is how
Right.
you attract it. And so when you start to have 3D perspectives, you start to understand a lot more. And since we're on YouTube, let me, and I oftentimes I do this exercise. I think it's really cool. It's a really fun way I get people just to ask themselves a question, like on a deeper level. So if I was to hold this symbol up to you, what would you say? What would you say it is, Bleak?
Right. It's, I mean, a
It's
six,
no
right?
right or wrong. It's just okay.
It's
So
a
you see a
six.
six. What do
It
you
could
say,
be a
six on
G.
Facebook?
It could be a G.
Right, right. You know how many people though that I've ever shared this with, like did this little example with, say, "Oh, it's a six." Many of them
Right.
said it's a six. Many of them said it was a nine. Many of them said it was an E. Like I understand, like it really don't matter. It really don't matter how I
But say it was
actually
nothing
write
there.
it.
There.
Yeah, it just disappeared magic.
Well, I thought you did something for real. Like, hold on. What's this?
No, like it really don't matter how I actually write it, right? It really
Right.
don't matter how I actually write it. It depends on the person perceiving
Yeah,
what
the
the
perspective.
image is. Because your perspective and what you're perceiving from verbal language, body language, audio language is how
Right.
you're going to interpret it, how your mind is going to interpret it. Therefore, this is the frequency and energy in the ways in which you're going to attract it. Very few people said that it was an angle. It wasn't a six, it wasn't a nine, it wasn't an E, it wasn't a G, it was simply an angle. Like this is where we
Right.
get into geometry, right?
Yeah.
The flower of life. There's symbols within symbols, shapes within shapes. And the more you expand your perception and your perspective, baby, listen, the more you can master yourself and master your reality. So when I talk about the why, I'm not just talking about surface level shit that we see that is
Right.
easy to see with these reflectors. I'm talking about the why that you cannot visually see. I'm talking about the internal why that you cannot see. The core and a catalyst. I don't know how many cars you've seen with it where the engine was exposed and you can see all of the intricacies about the engine. No, but you know it's there.
Right.
You know it's something that's fueling the car to be mobile. So why is self-mastery is so important? Again, until you understand the why, the inner why, the core why, things will not change, not for you or your loved ones, and you will not ascend. You will continually descend, and you will. It's like the infinite school of life. You will continually repeat the same grade over and over and over and over again until you understand what self mastery is, and with the fundamentals that we're speaking about, right? So let's make it make sense. The core reasons as to why we are behaving the way we behave, the core reasons as to why our behavior patterns are the way they are. Why are we
Mm-hmm.
doing what we're doing? Especially while we continually do that which we
Hmm.
don't want to do, but more of what we actually don't want to do. Like, let's make that make sense. The why we have traumas, the why we're still playing out our traumas, the why we're so fearful of our traumas, the why of our enslavement, especially mental enslavement. Because guess what? He who controls the mind controls the body, and he is not perspective to a male. He
Right.
means you, me, one, everybody. The why we keep warring against each other. Man, that's a huge
That's a
one.
big, yeah. It's, it's ongoing. It's on the popping right now.
It's
But you
crazy.
know what that is, though. We warn against each other because we're warring with ourselves. Again,
Yeah, there you go, Bleak.
so once we get back to, self mastery, and we understanding that when I try to fight you, I'm really fighting myself. That's what it is, because we all one, and people don't really realize that, because universal consciousness means that we are all attached to each other on a conscious level.
That's
So
profound.
what we see on the outside is a direct reflection of what's going on the inside, from racism to war to poverty to the other things that we look at and glorify, as far as um wealth and people having it
Yes.
all. We're all capable of having both. So we can be poor in the mind, poor in spirit, or we could be rich in the heart and wealthy in the mind. So it just depends on what we want to experience. And that's what, is the most important, is to get back to that understanding of being so self-aware and self-conscious that what
Yes.
we wish to be the reflection of what we want to be ultimately. It
Absolutely.
we all have it. We all have the opportunity to become the worst person on this planet, or the highest. So it's up to us,
You're
you know.
absolutely right. We people that come into your life is either going to do two things. They're going to reflect where you are currently, your frequency, and it's manifested within their actions. So if you have knowingly or unknowingly low self-esteem, guess what? There's going to be a lot of people that's going to come into your life to reflect your low self-esteem. Only you're not understanding what's actually going on, right? Or they're going to be individuals that come into your reality. Hence, there's still a reflection of you. They're just a reflection of your higher you, right? And so what you reflect, you project. Understand? Just
Exactly.
like in the movie theater, what you reflect, you project. So whatever you're looking at in your reflection, this is what's going to be projected on the screen. Hence your reality. This is what's being played out. And so this is also what self mastery is about, right? Why are we so at the core? Why are we addicted to the things that we're addicted to? Right?
Mm.
Many of us speak about emotional intelligence, but yeah, a lot of us, I'm just gonna keep it sweet and keep it nice and keep it truthful. Many of us talking about emotional intelligence don't have an inkling of a clue what actual emotional intelligence is.
Man,
You don't know what's going on inside you.
I just seen someone say something about that the other day, and I really wanted to ask them, like, okay, what do you mean by this? Because I knew they did not have a clue. Because
It be getting tough, right?
within,
Not to
yeah, within,
respond
yeah, but
sometimes.
yeah, because when it's like when but a lot of times, like you said, they ain't ask for my opinion, so let me shut up. They gonna have to come. Look, they gonna have to come over here and get that work. You know what I mean? But
Listen, because let me tell you something. Some it's just not for everybody, and I get it. I get
mm,
it. Many of us don't realize that we are running off for forced mental programs. We don't know that our thoughts leads to our feelings leads to our emotions leads to our actions, and our actions leads to our what? Our
our reality,
reality that we're
our
creating.
reality,
And so when we say emotions, it's like, oh, women are more emotional than men, and you're angry, you bitter, you're so
right?
emotional. Well, sometimes the cynical part of me was like, that's not what it means.
Yeah, that's not.
It's not what it means.
I mean, 'cause if that was the case, it wouldn't be so many brothers locked up right now for acting up
My
emotional.
goodness, that's not what
You know
it
what I mean?
means.
So,
Oh my goodness. Sometimes I'll be
yo,
like, Venus, walk away.
yeah.
Just, you
Sometimes
know,
the battle ain't yours.
the battle isn't mine, and neither. And listen, I'm still on my self mastery journey, but I'm not gonna act like she ain't still there. Like I embrace
Yeah,
all of me's.
yeah.
What
Oh, it
they used
comes
to
out
call it, the
sometimes.
past symbol.
Cause guess what? I'm real petty sometimes. And I be want to say some shit. Sometimes I should be like, nah,
I be like,
let me
that's not
chill.
nice, Venus. Like, listen, when you're
Let me chill.
aware, listen, chill, because I be like, you are not that idiotic.
Mhm.
And that's the nicer word that I just fathomed up on the fly. You can't be that idiotic. Like, and you're spewing this with your whole chest and breast sticking out, like, oh God, I'm right on top
Some
of the
people are
hill
though.
when you have no idea. And so self-mastery is about that. And you can still have fun. You can still embrace. Remember, your perception, your perspective is everything. It don't